You're mine.
Yeah. All right, is this thing on? Yes. All right, we're gonna thank you for your patience with dealing with some tech issues. Oh, here he is. So we'll start up. If- yeah, you're the tech issue tonight. Just a few quick public service announcements before we begin. For an emergency, please note the exits on either side of the chambers and proceed down the stairs. The bathrooms are located out the door to my left, women's room to the right, men's room is to the left. We allow 30 minutes for public speaking. If you have not done so already, you could sign up here in chambers at the podium or through the Zoom chat. I am now calling this common council meeting to order at 7:42 p.m. on December 6th, 2022. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for a moment of silence. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. May I please have roll call?
Alderman Hill.
Here.
Alderman Frankel. Alderman Scott Childress.
Here.
Alderman Worthington. Alderman Muhammad. Alderman Davis. Alderman Oliveri.
Here.
Alderman Shabbat.
Here.
Alderman Hirsch.
Here. We have a quorum. Nice to see you all. Have a motion to dispense with the minutes of the previous meeting and approve same.
Motion.
Motion by Steve Shabbat, second by Tony Davis. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is adopted 9-0. Can I have a motion to dispense with the reading of the general bills? Motion by Mike Oliveri, second by Naima Muhammad. All in favor? Opposed? Motion is adopted 9-0. As council members, we get the chance to meet folks from throughout the city and from all walks of life. Throughout our service on the council, we meet community members who truly move us by their acts of kindness and their efforts to better our community. Tonight, we recognize and honor a community member who has gone above and beyond to serve, actually two community members, to serve and help others with the Common Council Community Award. This year, we are happy to present Patrick and Megan Burke. To say this couple went above and beyond to serve and help seems like the biggest understatement of the year. I will have Alderman Steve Shabbat do the presentations of Patrick and Megan. You could come up to the podium.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you guys. This is great. Thank you. Okay. Okay, we all set? Okay. In your terms as alderman, and I've been at this quite a while, and there's a lot of your job that's not pleasurable and not a lot of fun. You know, this evening is one of the best parts of being an alderman, to get to recognize somebody, be part of a really nice story. This is actually an incredible story, and I'm really proud to be standing here with Patrick and Megan. They've been called heroes, and rightfully so. they literally put their lives on the line for someone else. We don't see that too often. But tonight they are standing here with us. Now, I gave them the option. I don't know if you guys have read this in a paper. I'm presuming everybody knows this story of what happened. We'll give you a little recap if you guys would like to say something about what happened that evening.
I mean,
Sure, go ahead.
I would just, like I said, as I fell asleep on the couch, waiting for my daughter to get home, I got up to go to the bathroom and noticed that my neighbor's front porch was on fire. Called 911, yelled upstairs for my wife to call 911, got dressed quick. She actually was the first one in the house in the back door. I followed in behind her, yanked her out of there. It was unbearably hot, a lot of smoke, but we did manage to wake the family up, other than the one that passed away in the fire. And it was pretty much just a reaction. It was not like we didn't think about it. It was just, hey, we needed to help our neighbors out. We knew there was babies over there, and they obviously had no idea that their home was on fire.
They had no alarms, and if we didn't knock and bang and yell and open doors, they would have most likely all passed away. So we got 5 or 6 people out, 2 infants, before the firemen were on the scene. So probably in less than 6 minutes, I'd say, at 4 o'clock in the morning. So there was a number of incidences and coincidences that made it
And I never fall asleep on the couch.
for that to happen.
For some reason I did. And had it not been for that, they would have not
Yeah,
made it.
They
They
used to
would have been,
babysit. We knew there was a back door. It was just get inside and get these little babies out and these people awake. And, they came through the house. One of them, they heard us and followed our voice versus going out the front, which was fully engulfed in flames. So they heard us, we made noise, and thank God. It was very scary.
Great. I mean, this is just so incredible. I mean, it's hard to believe anybody would be this selfless to put themselves in this position. And I might add, Pat did suffer some burns on his hands where he tried to get in the front door, and the front door was so hot, it burned his hands, so for him to keep at it is even more incredible to me. I mean, this is just amazing. And for those of you who don't know, Pat is one of our city employees. He works for the rec department. How long you been there? 50 years?
7.
It just seems like 50,
It
right?
seems like
Yeah. Well, we appreciate it, and it as a city employee myself, it makes me proud to have another city employee be this involved in their community, to do this kind of thing for somebody else. So it is with gratitude, that we have you here tonight. Not everybody would do this, and I'm sure I'm probably not speaking for myself, but you often do this. You're watching TV or you hear the news and you say, what would I do, in this? And Pat's answered that question. We know what Pat would do. Pat would get up, and Megan too, get up and answer the call. And I don't think nobody would have chastised them if they had just called 911 and stepped back and waited for the police and the fire department. But they did more than that. They rushed to the scene, put themselves in jeopardy.
I couldn't imagine of even waiting and watching. Just
Yeah,
knowing
well,
there was people
that
in
probably
there.
would have been
It's
worse.
like-
Yeah.
Actually, in the Freeman article, when we were explaining it, the reporter from the Freeman asked the fire chief,
We
did
something
we
wrong.
do anything wrong? And I would like to say that they have been great. They have checked on us every day since it
They
has
have.
happened. And he said they did absolutely nothing wrong. The first right thing they did was call 911, but then they proceeded across the street to try and help their neighbors. And that's what happened. I mean, I would like to say, with all of our leaders being here, this family lost everything. They need a place to live.
They do.
So
Terrible.
if whatever strings can be pulled or whatever needs to be done, there's 2 little children involved. Christmas is around the corner.
It's sad.
So I don't know the ins and outs of finding people a place to live, but I just feel that whatever needs to be done to try and help this family out, we need to try and make it happen.
I know there's been a lot of outreach and they have
The
all the
community
things,
has
but
been fabulous, they said.
they're getting, it's just, the holidays coming, your heart starts tugging that,
Yeah,
they're in a hotel
absolutely.
room and
Yeah,
they have no car, they have very little family.
Yeah.
It's devastating.
all right. I mean, I think the word is out. There's been a
Yeah.
lot on Facebook.
Yeah.
I put together some clothes and stuff, and I'm sure tons of people did.
Yes.
So, that's good, but I'm sure it's
Oh,
it's
so
never
much of
enough.
those things.
Yeah.
I know. It's
Well.
sad, but they're here, so.
Once again, with gratitude and appreciation for being some upstanding citizens.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Very much.
Thank you, guys.
We're now entering into public speaking portion of the meeting. We have allotted 30 minutes for this purpose. Speakers will have 3 minutes. If there are remaining speakers after 30 minutes, I will call for a motion from the council to extend the period for another 30 minutes. Speakers, direct your comments to the chair as council members cannot engage in debate during this time. Please state your name and address on the record before you address the council. For the audience in chambers and on Zoom, there shall be no distractions when a speaker is addressing the council. The common council has also received written comments for our consideration, and they could be found on the city's website under tonight's agenda. Looks like we don't have any speakers in chambers. Do we have anybody on Zoom? Nobody's on Zoom? No. All right, since nobody's on Zoom and. No, this is for anybody who would like to speak. All right, so just go up to the podium. And you'll have 3 minutes once you come up here. Just state your name and address for the record. Oh.
Okay, so my name is Vincent, Vincent Paul Vahidi. So I actually have an idea. A water project idea that I proposed to Ulster County at the end of last week. So anyways, it would require federal and state grants, and it sounds a little far-fetched, but I haven't rehearsed it much, and I saw there was a meeting tonight through Facebook, so I'm just going to read what I have here. So the name of the project or the small organization would be Poseidon's Will, and basically it's desalination of the Atlantic Ocean. And I need to go, and again, I reached out to state emergency, Homeland Security Emergency Relief, and they said I need to go through, again, town or county to get any type of grant. Basically, pulling water from the ocean and/or so putting stationary desalination plants along the coast and mobile desalination rigs in the ocean. Again, and it sounds crazy, but so there's two things to worry about here, and it's not the only thing really. I mean, Kingston saw a drought this past summer, but it could turn into a business that it could fund many other things. It's not necessarily going to be for profit right away, but it could affect again everything on the coast, New York City especially. And the point here is it's two birds, one stone. It's more about a global warming response. And And I think it could be something that could help put Kingston, Ulster, and Ulster County back on the map for another good reason. Because V6 engines and hoping, everyone buys an electric car really isn't that much. You can hope everyone jumps on this bandwagon here, but the future of our East Coast is inevitable. And this will help fight erosion of the East Coast, prevent flooding of major cities, homes, etc. It'll shape the future generation's ability
You have 30
Yours?
seconds.
to respond to global warming effects. Please value this as you would value healthy living habits. All contributions will be combined with any government efforts to the effects of global warming, of which I'm confident their efforts will be provided. This is a mission. Your contributions are my blessings. And that's it for now.
Thank you.
Yeah, 3 minutes isn't enough to read everything I have here.
You could always reach out to us.
Yes.
Probably email is best. I don't know if you know who your alderman is,
Okay.
but you could also just reach out to the full council too.
Okay.
Are there any other speakers? All right, seeing and hearing no other speakers, we will close the public speaking portion of the meeting. We now enter into claims and communications. Hearing no discussion, they will be on file in the clerk's office. Can I get a motion to dispense with the second reading of the general bills and pay same? Motion by Tony Davis, second by Steve Shabbat. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is adopted 9-0. We now enter into the report of committees, starting with resolution 219.
Resolution 219 of 2022. Resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, authorizing a 2022 transfer in the Parks and Recreation Department in the amount of $33,780 to reconcile department accounts.
On the question? Hearing no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted 9-0. Moving to resolution 220, please.
Resolution 220 of 2022. Resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, authorizing a 2022 transfer in the wastewater treatment plant in the amount of $13,420 to cover the expense of needed chemicals.
On the question? Hearing no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted 9-0. Moving to resolution 221, please.
Resolution 221 of 2022. Resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, authorizing a 2022 transfer from contingency in the amount of $140,913 in the Department of Public Works to cover the expense of shortfalls, including capital purchases.
On the question? Hearing no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted 9-0. Moving to resolution 222, please.
Resolution 222 of 2022. Resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, authorizing a 2022 transfer in the Department of Public Works in the amount of $39,869.81 to cover the expense of shortfalls and transfer funds from insurance recovery to operating accounts.
On the question? Hearing no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted 9-0. Moving to resolution 223, please.
Resolution 223 of 2022. Resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, authorizing a 2022 transfer in the Department of Public Works in the amount of $14,000 to cover shortfalls in accounts.
On the question? Hearing no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted 9-0. Moving to resolution 224, please.
Resolution 224 of 2022. Resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, increasing the total project cost for the Roundout Lighthouse and requesting bonding authorization in the sum of $715,000 to undertake design and construction of restoring electric and heating to the Roundout Lighthouse and authorizing the mayor to execute any and all contracts related to the project.
On the question? Hearing no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted 9-0. Moving to resolution 225. It's a bond, so I'll ask for long roll.
Resolution 225 of 2022, a bond ordinance dated December 6, 2022. An ordinance authorizing restoration of electric and heating systems at the Roundout Lighthouse in and for City of Kingston, Ulster County, New York, at a maximum estimated cost of $715,000 and authorizing the issuance of $715,000 bonds of said city to pay costs thereof. Alderman Davis. Alderman Oliveri. Alderman Shabbat.
Yes.
Alderman Hirsch.
Yes.
Alderman Hill. Alderman Frankel. Alderman Scott Childress.
Yes.
Alderman Worthington. Alderman Muhammad.
Bond resolution is adopted 9-0. Moving to resolution 226, please.
Resolution 226 of 2022. Resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, recommending approval for adding Department of Public Works charges to the 2023 property tax bills.
On the question? Hearing no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted 9-0. Moving to resolution 227, please.
Resolution 227 of 2022. Resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, recommending approval for adding Building Safety Division charges to the 2023 property tax bills.
On the question? Hearing no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor? Opposed? Resolution is adopted 9-0. Moving to resolution 228, please.
Resolution 228 of 2022. Resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, requiring the Office of Housing Initiatives to conduct a housing vacancy study every 3 years.
On the question? Hearing no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor? Opposed? Resolution up. Resolution is adopted 8-1. Opposition comes from Alderwoman Michelle Hirsch. Moving to resolution 229.
Resolution 229 of 2022. Resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, to approve the city's 2023 general fund budget as amended with total expenditures of $50,156,158.
On the question? Hearing no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted 9-0. Moving to resolution 230, please.
Resolution 230 of 2022. Resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, adopting the following changes to the mayor's 2023 recommended budget, increasing revenues and expenses in the 2023 general budget in the amount of $20,000 to provide funding for a grant received by Parks and Recreation.
On the question? Hearing no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted 9-0. Moving to resolution 231, please.
Resolution 231 of 2022. Resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, adopting the following changes to the mayor's 2023 recommended budget, increasing expenditures in the 2023 general fund budget in the amount of $7,000 to provide funding for citywide mailings and translation services.
On the question? Hearing no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted 9-0. Moving to resolution 232, please.
Resolution 232 of 2022. Resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, adopting the following changes to the mayor's 2023 recommended budget, increasing expenditures in the 2023 general fund budget in the amount of $33,913 to provide funding for police overtime.
On the question, Alderman Rennie Scott Childress.
Thank you, President Shaw. The Common Council talked about this with the Chief of Police, Jitenti. The aim here is to increase the amount of time that KPD can put to traffic safety issues. The overtime here will allow for up to 25 hours a week of more patrol time specifically dedicated to traffic safety issues. A lot of us, this is the majority of calls that we get from our constituents who are concerned about speeding on their streets, lack of attention to traffic lights and stop signs. So we look forward to KPD doing the same good work that they've done in the past, just more of it. We also are hoping that this will dovetail with our eventual adoption of a 25-mile-an-hour speed limit on city streets so that we can help motorists and other people who use the streets to become aware of the new rules and expectations. In the larger sense too, we hope that all of those folks who drive motor vehicles become more aware that the streets are used by pedestrians, by people on bicycles, so that we can create a true complete streets ethos here in Kingston where everybody can use the streets safely and effectively. And we appreciate the work the KPD has done on this and will do in the future. Thanks.
Thank you. Anybody else? Hearing no more discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted 9-0. Moving to resolution 233, please.
Resolution 233 of 2022. Resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, adopting the following changes to the mayor's 2023 recommended budget, increasing expenditures in the 2023 general fund budget in the amount of $538 to provide funding for a Common Council page.
On the question? Hearing no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted 9-0. Moving to resolution 234, please.
Resolution 234 of 2022. Resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, requesting approval of capital projects totaling $3,535,000 and authorizing the city's capital plan as per attached.
On the question, Alderman Rennie Scott Childress.
Thank you, President Schott. We're excited about the items that the mayor had approved in his request here. I want to note too that the Common Council has asked to increase this by $50,000 for the eventual purchase of up to 10 traffic feedback meters. Folks may have seen these before on Lucas Avenue. These have been shown to be quite effective in helping folks maintain proper speed limit in various parts of Kingston as well as around Kingston up and down Lucas Avenue. We are going to work with KPD, with the city engineer and DPW to consider whether to purchase 10 stationary ones or mobile ones or a combination of the two. But again, this is part of our long-term project to try to make our city's streets safe for everybody who uses them. Thanks.
Thank you. Alderman Tony Davis.
Thank you, Madam President. I just wanted to say with these capital improvements and that the all these departments who came and requested these, that the council and along with the mayor are going to provide all the tools and equipment that they see that they need to in order to be able to do their job more efficiently and each and every day. So I'm excited that we are going to, that I'm going to be voting yes on this, and so that they can have all the tools that they need, all the departments to and do their job efficiently. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Hearing no more discussion, I will call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted 9-0. Moving to 235, another bond. So I'll ask for a long roll, please.
Resolution 235 of 2022. I do. An ordinance authorizing the issuance of $3,535,000 bonds of the City of Kingston, Ulster County, New York, to pay the cost of various city purposes in and for said city. Alderman Oliveri. Alderman Shabbat.
Yes.
Alderman Hirsch.
Yes.
Alderman Hill. Alderman Frankel. Alderman Scott Childress.
Yes.
Alderman Worthington. Alderman Muhammad. Alderman Davis.
Bond ordinance is adopted 9-0. Moving to resolution 236, please.
Resolution 236 of 2022. Resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, approving the city's 2023 sewer fund budget with total expenditures of $5,558,322.
On the question? Hearing no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted 9-0. Moving to resolution 237, please.
Resolution 237 of 2022. Resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, in accordance with RPTL 1901 and RPTL 1903, recommend authorizing to adopt a base proportion ratio of 55.42124% homestead and 44.57876% non-homestead for the 2023 tax year.
On the question? Hearing no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted 9-0. Moving to resolution 238, please.
Resolution 238 of 2022. An ordinance amending an ordinance in relation to the traffic on the public streets of the City of Kingston, New York, adding handicap parking on Down Street.
On the question? Hearing no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted 9-0. Moving to resolution 239, please.
Resolution 239 of 2022. Resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, to approve the city's 2023 sewer rate at an amount of $6.82 per unit.
On the question? Hearing no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted 9-0. Moving to resolution 240, please.
Resolution 240 of 2022. Resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, approving the city's 2023 amount to be raised by taxes totaling $17,624,961, including a tax levy in the amount of $17,600,940.
On the question, Alderman Rennie Scott Childress.
Thank you, President Schott. I'm proud to be in favor of this tax levy rate. This is, I think, the 7th budget that I voted on, which has basically been flat in terms of the amount of money we've asked for the taxpayers of Kingston to pay. I appreciate the work that the mayor's put into this. I particularly appreciate working closely with John Toohey every month, making sure that we get really good data and understand the way that the economy is affecting the kind of budget that we have and need to have in future events. I'm proud too of the amount of work that the members of the Finance Committee put into this. In general, looking at the budget, looking closely with each of the departments over the last month and a half. And I appreciate the work that all the members of the Common Council are putting into thinking through the way that we use the money that the hardworking citizens of Kingston, the property tax owners, both business and homeowners, put into the city's coffers so that we can do the good work of taking care of the people of this city.
Thank you. Anybody else on the question? Yeah, thank you to the Finance and Audit Committee, especially our chairperson, Rennie Scott Childress. Hearing no more discussion, I will call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted 9-0. Moving to resolution 241, please.
Resolution 241 of 2022. Resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, recommending approval for adding water department charges to the 2023 property tax bills.
On the question? Hearing no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted 9-0. In case you're reading last night's legislation list, we're moving to the resolution that you just passed out of finance 40 minutes ago. Resolution 242, please.
Resolution 242 of 2022. Resolution of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, New York, approving the settlement between the City of Kingston and 3 of the defendants in the Washington Avenue Tunnel lawsuit.
On the question? Hearing no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted 9-0. We're now moving to the second reading of the 3 local laws, starting with local law number 3.
Local Law 3 of 2022. Local Law 3 of 2022 of the City of Kingston, New York, authorizing non-toxic landscape maintenance, Act of 2022, requiring non-toxic landscape maintenance on all land owned or leased by the City of Kingston, with exceptions and waivers in appropriate circumstances.
On the question, Alderwoman Rita Worthington.
Thank you, Madam President. So I'm going to make a motion to send back this resolution to committee to correct some errors found during the caucus's review last night in order to best reflect the committee's intent.
There's a motion, the second by Rennie Scott Childress is there any discussion to send this back? Seeing no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 9-0. Local Law 3 will go back to Laws and Rules Committee. Moving to local law number 4, please.
Local Law 4 of 2022 of the City of Kingston, New York, authorizing the amendment to Article 5, payment of delinquent taxes by installment, Section 360-27, terms of the Code of the City of Kingston.
On the question, Alderman Rennie Scott Childress.
Thank you, President Schott. I'd like to thank Corporation Counsel for working on this particular issue. We're in an environment now where it's very difficult for people who own their properties, people who rent. And so the Common Council has been looking for multiple ways to try to help folks stay in their current housing or find housing. And this is going to go a long way, I think, toward helping folks in this difficult economy if they fall behind in their tax payments, to be able to hold on to their properties so that we don't have to go through the arduous process of foreclosing and having the city take ownership. I look forward to voting in favor of this and appreciate the work of Corporation Counsel. Thank you.
Anybody else? Seeing no more discussion, I will call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Local Law 4 passes 9-0. Moving to local law number 5, please.
Local Law 5 of 2022 of the City of Kingston, New York, authorizing the replacement of Section 195-1, disorderly conduct definition in the Code of the City of Kingston.
On the question? Hearing no discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted, or local law is adopted 9-0. That concludes our communications for the month. Before we conclude our meeting, does anybody have? Oops. We'll go with Alderman Rennie Scott Childress, then Alderman Michael Averi, and then Steve, did you raise your hand? No, and then I have somebody too, so we'll start with Rennie.
Thank you. This is in honor of Mary Ann DePietro. She's a longtime Kingston resident. She was born December 4th, 1938 in Port Jervis. Her greatest enjoyment in life came from doting on her children and grandchildren, all of whom she loved deeply. Mary Ann began her work life outside of the home when all of her children were school age. After years in various vocations, her last roles were with several government agencies. Many of you may have met her in that stead. She worked in offices with Congressman Maurice Hinchey and for a long time with Assemblyman Kevin Cahill. Before retiring in 2017, she was presented with the YWCA Women in Government Award. Her daughter, Mary Jane, over here on Washington Avenue, was her constant companion and caregiver for over a decade and was helped out immeasurably by her granddaughter, Jennifer, and her husband, Jeremy. Mary Ann will be sorely missed. She was a wonderful member of the community and demonstrated the importance of working to make government work for all of us.
Thank you. Alderman Oliveri.
Thank you, Madam President. So there's two that I have unfortunately this evening. The first would be Judy Noxon, and I'm going to read her obituary from the Freeman. She passed away at home last Friday. She was born August 5th, 1939 in Kingston. She's the daughter of the late Joseph and Ruth Brown. Early on, Judy worked in Benedictine Hospital for a number of years as a nurse's aide before becoming a teacher's aide in the City of Kingston School District. Judy taught reading to many of the district's youth, a job she cherished and loved, retiring after 30 years of service. Judy was a member of His Word Revealed Church and had a strong faith in the Lord. Judy enjoyed dancing and had a love with Smokey Robinson. She enjoyed spending time with her large family, sharing good food, lots of laughter and love. She leaves behind to cherish her memory 11 children, 2 godchildren, 28 grandchildren, 18 great-grandchildren, and 1 great-great-grandchild. I knew Judy personally. We attended church together, and earlier this year, I presented her son, Pastor Ted Van Dyke, with our community award, and she will be a tremendous loss. She could just light up any room with her smile, and she lived a beautiful life, and she will truly be missed. And then the other I'll just say briefly was Mr. Donald Beesmer, who passed away earlier in the fire that we celebrated heroic efforts for earlier.
Yeah, that's who I was gonna close in memory to of, so I'll just jump in because I did know Don personally. He was my first job actually moving back to Kingston after college. I was the music director at the Church of the Comforter, which he was a member of for a long time, and I somehow convinced him to join the choir when my 10 years there, and taught his granddaughter piano lessons for a while too. So he's a good man, and it's a sad way to go. So I know we started the council meeting off with the heroic efforts of Megan and Patrick, but there was a life lost in that fire, and Don will be missed. That's all I have. Does anybody else have anything? Otherwise, hearing no one else, I will take a motion to adjourn. Motion by Michael Oliveri, second by Tony Davis. All in favor?
Aye.
Our meeting is hereby adjourned.